Welcome back to Kuni 2. So now we're at floor 49, and let's go to floor 50.
When are we going to get to floor 69?
Well, let's see.
Original dubs.
Yeah, I know, but who else is going to say it?
Probably.
Besides, originality can be
Could this
overrated
be
sometimes.
him? Dibs.
I have heard spy.
No, a child voice. A boy voice.
Yeah. Sorry, my father took over. I've heard spine-chilling stories of the one they call the Prince of Wraiths, but never did I think I would see him in the flesh. It seems they'd have the misfortune of coming across him, however, and here is the proof. A picture of, some guy in a costume for all I know.
Goodness, how terrifying. It is like... I'll read all these. It's like something from a nightmare. Formidable! Super! A seriously chic look! Debs, that you're Rumple.
I'm sorry to say it, but that's just a skeleton.
I'm not sure it was Muriel.
I know, but I wanted to just get this done for the sake of convenience.
The point is that the poor kid thinks he's on, the owner of a place, but he's all just a medium.
That's the thing, though. I get the feeling that you left it this long on for the sake of Shuru's timed reading.
Did I? Let me see.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the thing. Yeah, Shiro is both Mural and Ipano, so it will probably hold up a bit. Also, the Rumple is the cat doctor that has a dragon friend.
The veterinary, yeah.
The veterinarian, yeah.
So in this case, once again.
Oh, there you go. See, I actually didn't take that long with that actually. So it turned out, yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah,
Joe.
it turns out that you did time it for sure. How about that?
I don't even, Joe. But it's been over a year since I recorded this. It's a bit hard to.
It's just a part of the running theme of present Pedro going against past Pedro. Except this time it's present Pedro who decided to be rebellious.
Well, so what you're saying, Jover, is that Pedro changed the future, so he changed the past.
You see,
and we're all our own grandfathers.
You see, Jova. You see, Jova. To quote Eggman, I'm a complicated guy.
Also, yes, Tio. Even Shiroi is her own grandfather.
Honestly,
what kind of?
If you take out the grind. Sorry, if you take out the grand bit, that actually is something Red did at one point.
Well, Joe, I guess to be fair, I have
basically
seen...
one of the main characters is his own father.
I guess to be fair, I have seen a certain show that now does show a way on how a grandson can become his own grandmother, so sure, why not?
Yeah, but that's nothing. I once saw an episode of Red Dwarf where the main character is his own father.
Ooh, a volume of the mechanics manual.
Yeah, but can you tell?
Birthed from the semen of his love interest.
Wait.
Well, basically, starting from floor 50, you don't get any more the cutscenes where the fight stops for a second because you got all the fighting styles. For this particular part of the DLC.
Each of the two paid expansions has 2 extra martial methods, so we've already gotten the 2 of them from this.
But you still do get the mid-boss every 10 floor before facing the Prince of Wraiths.
I'd explain it to you, Jeff, but it would take too long.
I mean, that implies that his love interest was a guy.
Oh, no, sorry.
Whoa, more pink today, are you?
I said the wrong.
More like purple, I think, too.
It's the Prince of Wraiths!
Yeah, man, and he's looking to make more perky than he did before.
I think the term you're looking for is purple.
What?
It must be because we're closer to the bottom of the labyrinth. That's where the rift is. If what we've heard is true, and his lightsaber's looking a lot thicker there too.
Evan, has anyone told you how easily you believe
And whatever force is leaking through the rift makes him stronger, right? Better take him out sooner than later.
What's the point? He's just gonna come back and we have to face him over and over and over again.
We get more experience.
Invader, usurper, Evan Pitiwhisker Tildrum.
Well, that's not my entire name, but
Evan,
yes.
what did you do
Must die!
Be careful, you're cutting yourself with that edge.
Get in line. A lot of people have declared that on me.
Evan, what did you do to
Wow, he's been... oh, look at that, he's been grinding. He's at level 96 now.
Was it,
yeah.
Or was it your father that wronged him or something?
Maybe. I don't know.
Again, the in-story explanation makes actually quite some sense. The more the Prince of Wraiths, separates himself from the Rift, like in the earlier level, like level 20 or labyrinth, the weaker he becomes. That's why you face him at a lower level. But the closer he is, the more powerful he gets. I kind of like that. None of the games do that.
It's an in-story excuse for the sake of ramping up the difficulty curve of the boss.
Let me guess.
Explain my level up like this.
Let me guess. By the time we reach the bottom, he'll probably have so much power that he can speak eloquently in well thought out paragraphs.
More gameplay than story, Jova. That's pretty much it.
But Joe, you actually do make a good point. Well, you do make a good point, Jova, but we'll get to it. It's also
I've noticed though he tends to be speaking a bit more clearly the deeper we get.
Next time we meet him, I think next time we meet him, he'll be at a level 120, which is the maximum level at this point in the 3.0 patch. And it'll be at his hardest, especially if you're playing on the harder difficulties.
There you go. That's what you need to do with the monster mode. Throw a freezing bomb and it stuns them immediately.
There you go.
It also works on the other enemies too.
And are we gonna beat this guy or what?
Hold
Just
on.
a little bit more.
I'm kind of in the middle of something here, Lofty. There you go, see?
Then. Blimey, I bet it took you long enough.
And we get
A Dead Knight's boots.
We get the pair of bloody boots.
Kill the false king. Death to the invaders. Kill Teldrum. End them.
Sorry, but I can't do that.
I'm actually talking to myself right now.
He's the main character, you know.
Bring peace back to the Heartlands. Bye.
Bye.
He really is like Batman.
See ya. Not more ghosts.
Are you
Right,
sure this
so-
isn't... Wait. Wait, the spirits are coming out of her rift. Are you sure this isn't an episode of Torchwood or something?
Already made that joke.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't.
Wow,
Hey, remember, we're not in Cardiff.
A few buildings like that.
I don't know too. I get the feeling some of these translators are quite familiar with Cardiff and possibly Torchwood. So,
Have you not caught it on yet, girlie?
whatever. The point is, whatever.
Let's
Talk
use
to the
spirit
spirits,
medium and see what this one has to say, shall we? At least it's just one this time.
And we got a
Change the
menu,
volume of the manual of the maid.
aka two actually. Yeah,
And another one.
for the Ding Dong Discipline.
Oh, you get a treasure chest as well. But first, let's smash up all these
Remember, similar to the last triptych dungeon, you get usually with the higher difficulties. Either two, you get
I am Sharp,
General Sharp.
General of Ebswain. Hear me, interlopers. Heed my call.
This is the
Could you
20th
try
time
and
I've
not be so rude to us?
Put my mind at ease. The Horned One. He has not arisen, correct? Cannot have done. When Allegoria fell, so too did he.
About that. You know what? It's best you not know. We'll handle it just fine. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid he's back. DeLorean revived him. But don't worry, we kicked DeLorean's butt.
Curses. Then that is why the evil began to pour forth so ferociously. I had thought it strengthening strange. So there you go. When the Horned One caused that damage onto the world, it also caused a problem with whatever was protecting us from this rift. Go ahead.
We heard that there was some kind of rift here in the labyrinth. It was connected with another dimension.
Well, this franchise is all about the multiverse, so
Yeah.
this is so. And Rhamnus, our lord and master, has toiled ceaselessly to contain its wicked power, has performed the rite of entombment without pause for countless centuries.
So it's like Zelda
Sorry,
in Breath of the
Revenant.
Wild.
Yeah, basically. And yet the fallen fiends roam free. How could such a tragedy come to pass? And how could
Bad
fate be
luck.
so cruel as to render me incapable of doing a thing to stop it?
You can try to spook him. You're a ghost.
Unfortunately, I'm tied to this place where I die. Remember, we already established that in this world, spirits are tied to the place where they die. So
Damn it.
we were known as the Three Pillars of Ebswain, the three great generals, and we could have made it to the bottom if only Marx had not fallen.
Tardy, do you mind? We're trying to concentrate.
3 pillars, awaken my masters.
All right.
Seriously, stop moving around. We're trying to listen.
Let's see what else. I guess this one we can have Jova voice this one. Why not? Go ahead.
Young
Be
sorcerer.
gone! Leave this place while you still can. The monsters are coming, boiling up from below.
As above, so below.
Yes, and
no.
awfully French. Lord Remnis did all that he could, performed the rite for so many centuries, but alas, he done screwed up. Oh, you mean the rite of entombment, the one that keeps the rift from overflowing with evil?
Yes, that very same one.
Thus we all be destroyed.
I am sure he does. And now that it has failed, we have only one hope of driving back the fallen fiends and ending the Prince of Rave's incursion in our realm. The writ must be
Dragging him
sealed.
back and beating him up.
Well, yes. The writ must be sealed, and that is how we will accomplish it, yes.
All right, we'll handle this mob
Sure.
style.
And to do that, we'll need to get to the bottom of this place. Drive back both
Hordes of monsters. Monsters,
and
whatever.
finally face off against the cheese himself.
The big cheese.
Like I said, we're handling this mob style.
Cheese.
So does it end with the Prince of Rage being thrown down, in a car trunk, and he gets to be seen from his perspective while Evan and Roland the other close it down on him?
Yes. And then we'll stick his feet into blocks of cement and then take him for a little boat ride, if you know what I mean.
Omelette du fromage. Omelette du fromage.
That's how we do
I
it
will not
evermore.
console retreat, but you must do as you see fit. So have fun dying.
We will.
It'll be nice to have more company.
All right.
Well, that was a lovely conversation.
Jova?
I dearly wish I could assist you, but in this time there's precious little I can offer.
That's okay.
I can offer you
Cool
light.
story, bro.
Wow.
All right, let's continue then. We're almost at floor 69, Dwibs. But first, let's go back.
Excellent.
Nice.
Floor 4 to the 61st floor is now available. So we'll get back there. First let's heal ourselves up. And look at that. Once again, the cost chance. Go ahead, Shiri.
Fear not, Yappy. I shall not cause you any trouble. And thank you once again for allowing me to accompany you. It has been an honor.
Well, he is the golden hero after all.
Yeah.
Golden Warrior, but yeah, you're right. Which is interesting considering only the armor itself is gold. Which is only the armor itself is gold. But yeah, sure.
Who voices the one she's talking
Me.
to?
Yep. That's Yappy. That's voiced by Jova.
You don't forget a face like that. The labyrinth contains contraptions that even I have never before encountered. Be careful, Hoyden. I cannot guarantee that I will be able to help you should you fall victim to one.
True.
Hail the conquering hero.
All right. Let's see. Oh, hey, Derek.
Deka, please
Deka, that's it. Deka. Sorry.
Don't
ahead.
need the other. Ebswain's Kingmaker will appear to have lost its king's cradle, but the fact that its king's bond yet remains will suggest that it is not lost entirely.
Well, okay then.
Fascinating.
Nice to see you're not thinking of food during all of this then.
Maybe I am. I'm just prioritizing.
I guess. Sure.
Master Decker has so much to teach a young priestess like myself. And to think I once saw him as little more than a foolish old glutton.
Standing right
First
here.
impression may not have been all that off.
Well, yeah, that's kind of how most of us see him, Spio. Don't worry.
Spio is still a child. She needs to eat a lot to grow up. There's a way of saying in my country, but it's a child if too small or something, he or she needs to eat more.
All right, then. All right, so who else is here to talk to? Come on, Pedro, press the button, please.
No,
I mean, Lofty is enjoying it.
Oh yeah, I love seeing two people staring at each other saying nothing. Orders.
Oh, it's this one. It's this one first. Sorry. Go ahead, Jova.
I'm going to continue observing the monster's behavior and see if we can learn anything new. Unless you have any other orders for me, sir.
Yeah, go fetch me a brew.
Any orders that make sense, sir?
That's a cup of tea.
Actually, Batu. Remember, we already established in this game that Batu drinks beer. So, go ahead.
But a brew is a cup of tea.
If you see
Really?
that Prince of a swamp turn tail and run, he was bad enough when we first met him. He's a sight worse now.
As far as I know, Shirai, brew is a term that indicates, a liquid inside like a glass or, something that's used in a towel. But whatever.
Hey, I'm sorry, okay? I didn't
Fetch
think we-
me a brew is like fetch me a cup of tea.
I didn't think we caught him on this film, and then
brew for
there
a
he
lot
was.
of concoctions used in alcoholism.
I jumped so hard that my hand slipped. Want to go try shoot him again? So that. Go ahead, Liz.
Boop, boop, boop. You just deleted the only footage we had of the Prince of Rage.
Damn it, Jared.
You
No,
imbecile.
I'm sure this is the worst thing that can happen in your life.
The absolute worst.
There is nothing worse
thing.
in life.
All right, let's see what Geralt has for us. Oh, and she actually has manuals for sale.
With an exorbitant cost to boot.
How dare you?
Well, hey. It's
Business
not,
is business, Shirai.
And besides, it's not like you ever come to talk to me about anything other than just buying. It's never just, hello there. It's just, oh, what do you have then? Well, I treat it as such then.
Fair enough.
All right, in the meantime,
Ruled by the merchant.
indeed. Let's see ourselves with the Waystone, and
You
there
know,
we go.
since she has an Australian accent, I think I've come to realize something about Final Fantasy XIII.
About Fang.
Yes, I realize why Fang and Vanille have Australian accents.
Well, the implication.
It's supposed to resemble Australia.
Yeah, the implication, Job, is that everybody from Grand Pulse has one. Apparently, it's just that they're the only two
guys.
survivors, so we don't know anything more.
But guys, I know why they have Australian accents.
Why?
They live in Pulse, and it is the land down underneath Cocoon.
Okay, how many feel so far?
The land down under.
Down under.
Okay,
Wait.
Down under.
I guess
You're not
Pedro,
familiar with the term, Pedro?
I don't think I am apparently.
Down under,
That's basically code for Australia. So.
Oh, is
Yeah.
it?
that's
Oh,
why-
because it's
that's why
at the bottom of the world map.
That's why the second Rescuers movie is called like that.
Okay then.
So I have to wonder if there may have actually been a bout of cleverness in giving those two Australian accents.
Maybe for the localization, Jova. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, true. That seems to be more prevalent in the localization. The actual base game. not so much.
Considering how dumb.
If I recall correctly, they still have an accent, but I don't know if it's the traditional Osaka one or
Nah,
something else.
it's more.
entirely.
I seriously thought it's the Osaka one on 13. To be honest.
Anyway, you're saying, Pedro?
Considering how dumb the localization even is, I have my doubts that there was even any kind of intention on that particular aspect.
Isn't like the general consensus that the that like the localization is better than the original version, though?
Not really, Jova. There were some problems with the localization. Like, for example, the names of the roles in the job system, where the original Japanese...
That sort of Square's idea, though, because they figured,
Well-
that's what Americans will be into more
Well, that doesn't change the fact that the localization is problematic. The source of the problem doesn't eliminate the problems.
I think it's a different way. Instead of just being banned on its own, being screwed by executive mandates.
It's basically again the original roles in the Japanese version were called fighter, I think mage, defender.
In general, more akin to the traditional classes.
Yeah. So, and as you can see from one of the terms that I've just been using, medic. I think, in fact, the medic one was healer. You know. So, as you can see, Jova, the original Japanese names were incredibly descriptive and made perfect sense to an English-speaking person. I'm assuming it. However,
I wouldn't call them incredibly descriptive, but they were definitely more familiar.
Whereas fighter was changed to commando. I mean, when I think commando, I don't think exactly a physical fighter. I think more guns, but whatever. Mage was changed to Ravager.
Ravager, yeah.
Which can mean
That one was weird.
Which, if taken out of context, can mean a million different things. So it's whatever. Healer was changed to medic. Okay, medic is fine. That's still descriptive enough. The defender was changed to sentinel.
Sentinel.
It would have been more sense to call him to name a tank if you're gonna make it. If you're gonna use a term that I mean, the tank is a typical Western used term. Tank would have.
Okay, I'll give it credit. Those stuff like Sentinel and Medic, those make sense. But stuff like Commando, okay, you can maybe say Commando does make about a sense, but it would help to be more specific. And then there's just Ravager. What does that have to do with being, magic?
I don't know. There's also in the Japanese version, I think they were called Buffer, as in he plays buffs, and the debuffer, which is, again, you can't get more descriptive than this, but they changed it to Synergist.
And saboteur.
Saboteur. I can understand the logic because they're sabotaging the opponent in way, but at the same, I can kind of see what you're going for there, but at the same time, it's not really worth it. Debuffer was way better. Not to mention, Jova. The original name for the switching of roles during battle was called Optima Change. And it was even called. It wasn't even just Optima Change in Japanese. Like literally, if you check out footage of the Japanese version, they even say Optima Change already written in English. So it didn't even need to be translated. But they changed it to Paradigm Shift. I mean, paradigm is not exactly a word that I associate with a job system. It's just a lot of fancy terms that just feel unnecessary just to make the game sound fancy, I guess.
This also partially reflected for the Italian one because this was the first iteration where magics, instead of being kept from the English version, were starting to get translated into Latin, which, true, it's fancy, it's nice enough, but it completely broke the consistency of the terms being used until that point.
Yeah.
Anyway, in regards to when I was saying that the localization is considered the preferred version, I wasn't necessarily talking about the gameplay elements, more like, the story elements, acting, and whatnot.
Well, I'm not entirely familiar with the. I mean,
I know the original dub and experience with the characters in other media, like the Dissidia games. I can tell you this, Jova, the voice actors for the main cast are kind of exactly what you may think. They are perfectly serviceable, but they're the usual bunch that don't inflate much. So, like Maya Sakamoto for Lightning, which is like the Jennifer Hale of Japan. So she has exactly the same voice tone that she. Hell, I argue she inflates more when she does the voice of Aerith, for example. Because, so technically speaking, the English dub gives more of a personality to the characters, and that includes also Ali Hills being monotone as Lightning. Yes, I'm including that.
So in a sense, Lightning being monotone adds more character to her than in the original Japanese.
Anyway, we're back here.
Well, I would argue.
Goldpaw. Why?
I would argue that Lightning was only really monotone in Lightning Returns, but.
Well, okay. I'd say the better term for her is like, well, she tried to be stoic, But then again, like as I pointed out,
Go
in
ahead,
playing
Teo.
for that game, she was just a
Okay.
downright jerk.
So,
And
so,
also
so
has
basically, the this expansion also adds extra books to read in the library. So, Teo, go ahead.
Alright, the ancient mystical tribe known as the Nazcans had their own unique writing system, whose origins have unfortunately been lost in the mist of time. Their civilization was extremely advanced when it came to all things magical, and since many of the relevant tomes were written in the Nazcan script, scholars and wizards alike have long considered its study be essential. Sorry.
That's okay. Ting Dondell, again.
it's not
We've already read that one. So, Souls Entwined.
Souls Entwined.
Souls Entwined. No, this is about the soulmates, I think.
Go ahead.
Every soul in this world is inextricably linked with that of another, but not another in this world. Unfortunately, there appears to be no way of knowing to whom one soul may be in fact be linked.
Or is there?
No, actually. If there's one thing that's even consistent with all Kuni products, even in the movies, that the soulmate mechanic is a mystery to even the people who know about it.
The Mandarin.
Sure didn't stop Shadar from figuring out.
Goldpaw is an eyewitness account from a soldier of Goldpaw. He insisted on being granted an audience with the Grand High Roller. He said he had knowledge that would make our kingdom prosperous beyond belief. It was way of him, of course. Man was a complete stranger, but it was something about him. Even the Grand High Roller himself had been intrigued by him.
So there you go. That's how
Roland entered the court.
Yeah.
He said he was a traveler, but that he had a tale worth an audience with a great ruler. By this point, Master Pugnacious was beside himself with a desire to know what it might be. I believe that was the point at which he lost his way and the rest of the kingdom with him. The man who was made Mandarin, and our fate was sealed.
He told us that we should induct a system where people are driven crazy by their debt by having these loud-speaking birds that would drive them to suicide. It was a very efficient system.
Oh, look at that! Our kingdom is now in the history books.
Again, it's up to date, so why not?
I knew I'd make it big someday.
A new kingdom full of smiles. The Artan Kingdom, evermore, was founded by Evan Pettywhisker Tildrum, the former king of Dindondel, who was expelled from that realm following a coup. The local kingmaker, Lofty, ordinarily takes the form of a small fairy, but can also transform into a mighty dragon, one which bears a striking resemblance to the ancient mighty beast, the Gesundheit. I don't know how to read this shit.
Probably a Welsh word. I don't know.
Drake Favraloft.
Drake Farwanloft.
And,
There you go. There you go. That's Lofty's true name. It seems.
Drake Farwanloft.
Wait, what? Drake Faurandroft?
Basically, Dweb's Lofty for short for the sake of convenience, but apparently that's his real name. Go ahead.
King Evan was the brains behind the Declaration of Interdependence, a treaty designed to unite the four great kingdoms. It is this flair for international cooperation that is his nation's greatest strength. The inhabitants of Evermore come from all corners of the world, which means that all cultures and species are represented. A fact that has resulted in the kingdoms having a unique culture all of its own.
Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
What a foreign concept. Kill me.
Alright, this is still Evermore.
That's out of my pay grade.
Leaving friends behind.
Leaving friends behind?
The hell is this? Let's see. Go ahead, Teo.
King Mausinger's coup has proved disastrous for the Gromolkin. Their daily strapples have risen in price, their employment opportunities are limited, and some have even been driven from their homes. Of course, there is some satisfaction in this, knowing that their kind once did the same to my forebears, who were forced to scout around in dark corners as a result of Gromolkin oppression.
True. This is probably old. I probably forgot to read this last time we were here. Go ahead.
As a fishmonger, however, though these latest developments are far from good news, King Mausinger insists that I charge higher prices, which keeps the cats away. They're not questioning him, of course. But the truth is that the Crown King who brought my fish were not the tyrants everyone believed them to be. They were good people. I was proud to call them my friends.
And
then one day they left that kingdom. They didn't tell me. They didn't tell anyone. Just like my ancestors before them, they were being oppressed and life here had become impossible. And now they surely felt that I victimized them deliberately when all I did was follow the king's instructions. Damn.
Wow. Huh. Ironic.
Perhaps discrimination will soon be a thing of the past in Ingondel, but that will not bring my friends back, I fear. I just hope they're enjoying life, wherever they ended up.
I mean, we know that
You
the
have my
story has.
sympathy and name Fishmonger.
I mean, we know that the story has a happy ending, but damn.
Magic bullets. Once upon a time, a rich man was abducted by bandits who held him as a hostage. What the bandits hadn't realized, however, was that the man had a gun in his possession, which he used to shoot himself. Persona!
Person.
Angry that we could no longer demand a ransom, the bandit decided to dispose his body. Okay, I want
Welcome to Nino Kuni. We have
The floor of the valley was covered in a thick carpet of flowers, and his body thrown by a wicked bandits. Then on top of them, and a great shower of petals fluttered all around him, and he came back to life. You see, the bullet he had shot himself with was filled with a magical medicine. It was only made him to appear dead, as the flowers were the antidote.
Of
Fucking
course.
convenient.
What
What have I just read?
I don't know.
Was that like a fever dream that Hino had at some point?
Maybe the guy got himself up with cocaine.
Anyway.
And that's what he.
Hey, sorry, I'll let you read this first.
I could not believe it. Every race imaginable, all living together in happy harmony. Their king and kingmaker walking among them, perfectly at ease with the ordinary people. The kingmaker was particularly animated in his prattlings. Sometimes these would lead to laughter, other times to a moment of misunderstanding, but never was in a dull or dreary moment in that happy place.
It's probably talking. Oh god.
And yet, the cautionary tale of Allegoria plays on my mind. After all, we know what follows when kings and kingmaker grow too close.
Yeah.
But there is something different about this place, evermore. It feels as though it has been built to last. It feels as though these people will go on smiling forever.
Hence the name.
Yep.
Anyway, you were saying, Shiroi?
Pedro.
Me?
Yes.
Uh,
Well, maybe he shared a joint with Nomura.
Probably.
Allegoria, a realm resurrected.
Well, knowing
Along those magical kingdoms, the Nescan kingdom of Allegoria was once a beautiful, peaceful land with a beautiful, peaceful kingmaker by the name of Alisandra. But alas, she was so beautiful that Dolran, her king, fell in love with her, and she with him. Desperate to be with her beloved, she gave up her powers and decided to retain the human form she has taken on forever.
So basically, Shiroi, there will be a point where. Oh, go ahead, Theo. Finish mine as well.
But in giving up her powers, she set them free to run wild, and they coalesced into a cursed being known as only as the Hoarded One, whose fate it was to lay Allegoria to waste. Posting this destruction, Alexandra used what little of her power remained to seal Allegoria and the Horned One away in another dimension. Dolran, desperate to regain his love, set about to misguidedly stealing the Kingsman of all the world's great rulers.
We'll expand more upon this in the second expansion.
Yeah. The Horned One was resurrected and ran wild once more, but was laid low by a heroic force comprised of all the kingdoms of the world, and led by King Evan of Evermore. And with the defeat of his great evil, the peace that eluded the world for 2 millennia finally returned.
And that's the story of how I saved the world.
Sure, Evan, you did.
Well, you're a JRPG protagonist. That's kind of what you do.
Anyway, Shiroi,
fatal
Pedro,
Polestar.
you talk about no more sharing a... Oh, never mind.
Lo, the Horned One did make as if to lay waste of the world, and Dolran did stand against him. He took in hand the great sword Mornstar, with which his Kingsman had been forged, and drove the great evil back into the place between worlds.
Huh.
But having done so, he found himself alone in the world, and worse, tainted by evil's wicked touch. Nairs has been since the past fateful day. As for Mornstar, its purpose met, and its work at end, the hallowed blade took the form of a holy cup and was sealed away for all eternity.
That's the backstory of how the Mornstar ended up in that cave that we found it. Go ahead.
This is a sad, sad tale about a king.
Oh boy, another sad tale! Go ahead, Theo, read it.
A king who sent to the throne at a young age to heir almighty, a greatly respected predecessor, with the great weight of his subjects' expectation upon his youthful shoulders. Fortunately, he had support of a former kingmaker who was soon humanized in order to better assist him.
Yeah,
Alas, it was not long before... Okay, the feeling was mutual. The kingmaker loved him just as dearly in return. She vowed that she would relinquish her power and remain in human form forever. But this was an offer against the laws of kingmaker conduct, an abuse of the great responsibility with which she had been entrusted.
God, how messed up.
And so their love was not allowed to blossom, and that kingdom, once so beautiful and peaceful, was destroyed. Ever since that day, no kingmakers ever dare grow too close to the ruler whom they serve again, no matter how great the bond between them may become.
Lofty, remind me never to fall in love with you.
Anyway, go ahead and finish, Jova.
Bad things will happen.
Lofty is stunned into
Oh.
silence.
Oh, never mind. I think there's one more. Go ahead, too.
The cradles of king. King's cradles are where the beings known as kingmakers
Oh,
reside.
never mind. I think we've already... Do I already any more of these? Let me see.
The bond of kings.
Try.
King's bond are metaphysical linkages formed between kings and their kingmakers, allowing them to exercise a greater control over these great beings. King's bond will grow thicker and stronger as the bond between a king and his subject coalesces. The kingmakers whose bond are served will turn into wild, rampaging beasts, causing great destruction and suffering wherever they go.
So with great power comes great responsibility. That's the basic lesson here. It seems.
Or, yeah, something like that. The forming of a bond with a kingmaker requires the use of
Yeah,
one sick
I think we already know that. We already know how that works, I think. Oh, never mind. Maybe I got it. If only I remembered what was my thought process when I recorded this a year ago.
Honestly, don't even remember. Aside from the kingdom's
What-
guides,
Whatever.
I don't remember which ones we
Eagle
used.
these. Go ahead, too.
When the spiritual power will reside within each living thing achieves self-realization, which is linked to a spirit creature known as a Higgledy. Higgledies make for excellent companions, protecting their masters from harm, and also assisting with other aspects of day-to-day life.
Like we
So
saw
is there
with,
a Higgledy- so is
Granny
there
Marfa.
a Higgledy psychologist?
Maybe.
Okay, now can I...
I think so, Joe, but the video is
I think so. Go ahead.
Sorry.
So, you say that Nomura shared a joint with Hino. So, does that mean that Miyamoto's there with the shrooms?
No. Remember, Joe. But like when this is no more. Here's the basic gist of it. Here's Nomura taking a joint. Mobile phone game. Time travel. Data world. Darkness. This is Hino taking a joint. Cats. Death of loved ones.
Isn't that how he thinks when he's sober too, though?
All right.
Yes.
All right, everybody. So that was the history of the kingdom of the world of Ni no Kuni. I hope you enjoyed our little
And
history
someone
lesson.
shot himself with a magic gun. Where did he purchase that?
eBay. I don't know.
Anyway, see you for
See
the
ya.
next part.
See you, everybody.